My name is Mathias Anderson. At 88, I spend my days by this window, watching the world go by. I once believed health was a permanent gift, something that required no effort. In my 40s, I was a man of steel and deadlines, treating my body like a machine that never needed maintenance. I was too busy building a world for others while my own foundation was slowly crumbling from the inside. My greatest vice was red meat. I loved the taste of fat and iron more than the promise of a healthy future. At 65, the alarm finally sounded. I woke at 3 a.m. with an urgent need, only to face a weak, hesitant stream. That silent bathroom witnessed my first real fear. My body was no longer under my command as I struggled with these early symptoms of BPH. The doctor confirmed it the next day, benign prostatic hyperplasia. He explained that my heavy intake of red meat had likely triggered chronic inflammation, a known factor linked to prostate enlargement and cancer risk. I learned the hard way that food is either a supportive medicine or a slow-acting poison. My pride in those massive steaks turned into bitter regret as I realized I had fueled my own illness. That night, I stood under the stars feeling defeated. I had betrayed the only vessel I was ever given. The regret was a heavy stone in my chest. But amidst the despair, a spark of defiance flickered. I wasn't ready to let this diagnosis define my final chapters. I promised myself I would find a way to heal, even if it meant changing every single thing I knew. I spent weeks buried in medical journals, searching for a way out. My desk was a chaotic landscape of health magazines and printouts. I felt overwhelmed but desperate to find a natural ally for my prostate health. I needed something that could dampen the chronic inflammation without the harsh side effects of heavy medications I feared. Every page felt like a puzzle piece I couldn't quite fit. I began to see food differently, not as a reward, but as medicine. My hands, once reaching for heavy steaks, now hovered over vibrant greens and fresh produce. I learned that the chronic inflammation triggered by my poor diet was the silent architect of my misery. It was time to replace the fuels of my illness with the ingredients of my recovery. I was finally choosing life over appetite. In my search, a simple fruit kept appearing in the margins of my research, the pineapple. It was a humble tropical fruit I had long ignored, yet it held secrets for men's health. I started reading about its unique compounds, looking for the bridge between ancient wisdom and modern science to help my struggling prostate. Could this simple fruit be my answer? The real breakthrough was an enzyme called bromelain. Research showed it acts as a powerful natural anti-inflammatory. Since my doctor linked my BPH to chronic inflammation, finding a food that could directly dampen that fire gave me a surge of hope. Pineapple wasn't just sweet, it was a biological tool for my healing. Beyond bromelain, I found that pineapples are loaded with vitamin C and beta-carotene. These antioxidants combat the oxidative stress linked to prostate enlargement and cancer risk. Imagining these nutrients repairing my cells from within gave me peace of mind. I wasn't just eating fruit, I was building a fortress of protection within my own body. I discovered that nutrients like manganese and vitamin C also support blood vessel health and testosterone balance. This indirectly benefited my circulation and sexual function, which had been declining due to my health struggles. It was a holistic shift. My whole body began to feel the ripple effect of improved circulation and reduced internal stress. I finally took the leap and started my new routine. My heavy morning meals were replaced by fresh pineapple. As I took my first sip of that golden smoothie, the heavy feeling of helplessness began to lift. I felt like a child who had found a hidden treasure, the treasure of health tucked inside a simple fruit. My real journey of recovery had finally begun. My mornings are now defined by a simple, measured ritual that keeps me grounded and focused. I stick to half a cup of fresh pineapple, usually 3 times a week to support my system. It is a small but intentional act of self-care that provides a burst of enzymes without overwhelming my body. This routine isn't about excess. It is about finding the precise balance my body needs to thrive. Lunch is another opportunity to build on the foundation of my health. I make sure to pair my fruit intake with other antioxidant-rich foods, especially tomatoes. The lycopene in cooked tomatoes works in harmony with the nutrients in pineapple to support my prostate. By combining these ingredients, I am creating a diverse nutritional shield against inflammation in my daily life. I've expanded my palette to include vibrant berries and leafy green vegetables as part of my weekly meal planning. These foods complement the pineapple's anti-inflammatory properties, creating a powerful synergy of antioxidants. Every meal feels like a deliberate choice to fuel my recovery. It's no longer just about one fruit, it's about a complete and healthy lifestyle shift. I've learned that the form of the fruit matters just as much as the fruit itself. I always choose fresh pineapple over sugary store-bought juices. Too much sugar can raise blood glucose levels or irritate my digestion, especially for those with reflux. By sticking to fresh, whole fruit, I get the benefits of the enzymes without the risks of processed additives or unwanted spikes. My routine extends far beyond the kitchen. I've made it a priority to stay active with regular exercise while strictly limiting alcohol and processed meats. These habits are just as important as the food I eat for maintaining a healthy prostate. I've realized that my body is an interconnected system, and every positive choice I make helps keep the chronic inflammation at bay. I am also very clear about one thing: pineapple is a supportive food, not a medical cure. It should never replace professional medical care for conditions like BPH or cancer. I continue to have regular PSA screenings and prostate checks as advised by my doctor. This partnership between nutrition and modern medicine is what truly gives me the best chance at a long life. Looking back, I realized that progress is a marathon, not a sprint. I realistically expect gradual improvements in my symptoms rather than an overnight miracle. Consistency is my greatest strength now. By sticking to this practical outline, I've found a sustainable way to manage my health. I feel more in control of my future, one healthy choice and one day at a time. I'm very clear about one thing: pineapple is a supportive food, not a medical cure. It complements my prostate-friendly diet, but it's not a replacement for professional care. I use it to boost my health, knowing it works best alongside medical treatment for BPH or other issues. It's about building a foundation for my recovery, one step at a time. My rule is simple. I eat about half a cup to 1 cup of fresh pineapple only a few times each week. I also make sure to include other antioxidant-rich foods like berries and green leafy vegetables in my meals. This balance ensures I get the anti-inflammatory benefits without overdoing it. It's all about finding that sweet spot where my body feels most supported. I've learned the hard way that fresh is always better than sugary juices. Too much juice can spike my blood sugar or irritate my digestive tract, which is a real concern for anyone with reflux. By sticking to whole, fresh fruit, I get all the natural enzymes without the negative side effects of processed sugar. It's a small change that made a massive difference. I don't just eat pineapple, I combine it with foods that make it work harder. I've started eating more lycopene-rich tomatoes, nuts, and healthy fats as part of my routine. These ingredients work together to create a powerful, prostate-friendly environment in my body. Seeing my plate full of vibrant, healing foods gives me a sense of control I thought I'd lost forever. My transformation goes beyond the kitchen. I've made regular exercise a non-negotiable part of my daily life. I've also strictly limited my intake of alcohol and processed meats, which I now know can hinder my progress. Every time I choose water over a drink or a workout over the couch, I feel like I'm reclaiming my vitality and protecting my future health. Even with these changes, I never miss my PSA screenings or regular prostate checks. I follow my doctor's advice to the letter because I know that nutrition and medical science must go hand in hand. This partnership gives me the data I need to stay informed while my diet gives me the energy to stay active. It's a combined strategy for a life without fear. I realistically expect gradual progress, not an overnight miracle. I know this is a marathon, and human evidence for some of these benefits is still limited. But by staying consistent with my routine, I've found a path that works for me. I'm not just surviving, I'm thriving, one day at a time, with a plan that I can actually stick to for the long haul. Standing here in my garden at 88 years old, I feel a profound sense of vitality I once thought was lost forever. My plants are thriving, and so am I. It isn't about trying to avoid aging, it is about aging with strength, dignity, and grace. Every single morning, I wake up feeling grateful that I am no longer defined by pain or limitation. My journey shows that proactive choices truly matter. People are often shocked when I tell them I actually feel far better today than I did back when I was 65. 23 years ago, I was slow, perpetually exhausted, and utterly consumed by anxiety regarding my prostate health. I had allowed neglect to take a massive toll on my body. The difference today isn't just time, it's the fundamental shift from passive acceptance to active, intentional care. To the younger generation listening, I implore you, do not wait for a health crisis to start caring. Your body is a precious temple, not a warehouse where you store neglect until it finally breaks down. Prostate issues always feel like a problem for future you, but the foundation for that future is being built today. The small changes I made could have saved me years of struggle if I had started sooner. I've learned that nutrition is a biological advantage. Adding fresh pineapple for bromelain and lycopene from tomatoes aren't just trends, they are preventive tools. I eat about half a cup of pineapple a few times a week. When you eat with purpose, you invest in cellular resilience. Don't wait for your prostate to swell to discover the power of supportive food. My journey was about synergy, not miracles. I didn't rely on food alone. I combined it with regular exercise and limited alcohol and processed meats. This holistic method, along with fresh produce like leafy greens, restored my balance. By respecting my body through action and sustenance, I gave myself the gift of vitality. It's about the whole system working together in harmony. I am always honest. Pineapple is a supportive food, not a medical cure. I never miss my PSA screenings or checks as advised by my doctor. I realistically expect gradual progress, knowing human evidence for some benefits is still limited. This balance between personal initiative and professional guidance is what truly gives me peace of mind every single day. Health is the savings account you enjoy later, especially when peers struggle just to walk. It is a slow-built fortune, accumulated through consistency, discipline, and respect for your body. I want you to build that account now, so you too can stand strong at 88. The investment is worth every effort. Start today, because your future self is waiting to thank you for the choices you make.